Military Times Edge magazine recently ranked USF as the 5th best college for being veteran-friendly in the United States out of 4,000 colleges and universities. USF is the only university in Florida that participates in the Yellow Ribbon program. Joining me today, retired Lieutenant General Martin Steele, U.S. Marine Corps, and also, we're sitting right here, and then right next to him is Gonzales. He's a U.S. Army veteran and a current student at USF. Welcome, welcome,
Thank you very much for having us. We're thrilled to be here.
I'm glad to have you here. General Steele, what are you seeing from the veterans returning from Iraq and Afghanistan in terms of their mental health, their behavioral health, addictions? We've been reading a lot about it. It's a tough road back.
It is, but one of the major differences for this population is that the country writ large is welcoming them with open arms.
That is huge.
That is a huge difference in the previous wars, and in my case, the Vietnam era. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's much better right now, and so the challenges they face are numerous. But what we're trying to do at USF is help them assimilate with transparency as quickly and as easily as possible. But what we see is their denial that they have any issues, for one thing. Those who have experienced traumatic brain injury, they're getting the proper medical treatment. We have a great collaborative effort with the Veterans Administration here. I think you're aware that we're adjacent to the James A. Haley VA Hospital, the largest polytrauma center in the VA system. We have collaborative research with them. But our focus at the university is to ensure that people who may be experiencing post-traumatic stress issues, they're identified, they're addressed, and that we can provide them with the help that they need to be able to be successful in college during the matriculation, and then ideally get a job and then have life cycle mentorship for not only the veteran, but also their family members, which singularly makes USF different because we are that much involved with the whole of ensuring that they're successful in life when they come back. Their selfless dedication and commitment, whatever their mental health state, Kathy, is such that we owe them. We have a moral responsibility to assimilate them back and ensure their success in life.
Now, you have people, you mentioned traumatic brain injury and PTSD. There's also the emotional trauma of coming back if you have had serious injury, lost a body part, watched a fellow soldier die in front of you, and have an addiction problem. I mean, the re-entry into going to the mall and seeing people spending money has got to be tremendous on an emotional level for some of these men and women.
It is, and I'm glad that you said and women, because that's singularly unique to this experience in the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Again, the programs and what we have in the academicians at University of South Florida and the research scientists are addressing these issues on a regular basis on what is the best programmatic approach to help them in their dealing with these kinds of issues, anger management issues. You're at the extreme end on alcoholism or drug addictions, but what we're trying to do is prevent that, mitigate that early on through identification, and have the resources available, which we do have at USF, to ensure that those things can be avoided. The anger management issues, I think that you may be aware that some people indicate that the professional side that some of these issues of post-traumatic stress are latent and won't even reveal themselves until the year 2040. Wow. So what we're trying to do in our research effort at the University of South Florida is get ahead of that bow wave and create, through the resources we have available and grants, the conditions that will enable people like Aaron, who's a fantastic student here at USF and will graduate next May, have the opportunity to be able to come forward if necessary and receive the care and the attention that he and his family need to be successful.
Now, Aaron, 2 combat tours in Iraq. You also worked on the task force for Katrina.
Yes,
you must be thinking a lot this week about the folks over in Louisiana and the Gulf Coast with another storm.
The fact it was so close to the anniversary, I thought was pretty striking. That the possibility for that to happen again, which would be really unfortunate. But yeah, I was there for that.
So, what was re-entering American society like for you coming back from the war?
Really, I mean, it's the same challenge that I think all veterans are facing when they return. And the big thing that veterans are looking for is that they want to see that their strength, their courage, their commitment, the values they learned as a service member are still valuable within the civilian community. They want to see that they can still contribute on the same level that they did as service members as they transition to civilians. And it's trying to find the roadmap to help them actually achieve their life goals and their professional goals and continue to contribute and serve in the community. That's difficult to kind of identify. So like General Steele was saying, having a centralized location where, you know, medical research for those who suffer from PTSD or TBI, job training, so that service members can impart their military experience to business leaders so that they connect and that they can understand what the service member brings to a local business.
Did you have any personal adjustment issues?
Adjusting to like a course schedule. I mean, you start from scratch. A lot of your military training credit as of now doesn't really equate to academia, to university, so you're starting from zero. You were going from possibly being in charge of a squad or a platoon, in charge of $1 million of equipment to nothing, and you have to work your way back up to have the credentials to continue to serve and to find a path and to be successful.
You know, you seem to have come back you know, pretty much intact and able to resume your place in society. I'm sure you have fellow soldiers who came back with a lot of physical, emotional, mental challenges. You know, for both of you, there was a time, maybe still is, when asking for help was considered a sign of weakness. You're a Marine, you're a soldier, you're an airman. I can't ask for help. That would be, everybody would think I'm a weak person. What are you doing about that? Is that changing?
Ever so slightly.
Ever so slightly,
but
yeah,
that
hard.
condition still exists, and it's one of the challenges that we face every day. And because of leaders like Aaron and students who are successful, who understand this and have great relationships with his former soldiers, and what we do in our program with over 2,200 veterans and their families is have that communication network that really enables us to draw those symptoms out, if you will. Will it continue? I think so. As I indicated earlier, the latency of all of this and the fact that many of these people, it is a sign of weakness to them, and they really want to move on with their personal lives, both while in school but also afterwards, is such that that's okay, and suppression is one methodology in personal treatment, but what we're trying to do is have them feel whole as quickly as possible and understand, because of their selfless service and their relationships that they had, they really owe it to future generations also to understand that from their experiences, they can make it that much better for people that follow them.
This USF Veterans Reintegration Center is really taking the lead on bringing these people back into our society and adapting to whatever challenges they bring back with them. What's the most important thing that they do?
Well, I have the privilege to co-chair the committee of the Veterans Reintegration with Dr. Paul Sandberg, who's a stem cell research scientist and the vice president for research and innovation. And it's a major initiative to bring under one roof a facility because of what we've learned within the committee, Kathy, of what the greatest needs are. So what our intention is, and it's a great vision, is to build a 10-story, 350,000 square foot, $200 million research facility on the campus of USF, adjacent to the Haley VA Hospital. It's a collaborative venture with the Department of Defense, the Veterans Administration, and our medical and nursing school. And to bring our research scientists for traumatic brain injury, post-traumatic stress, prosthetics, robotics, speech and audiology, all under one roof, which would be a one-of-a-kind facility in the country. So because we have over 4,000 veterans in the adjacent area here, and Florida is the third largest state in the nation that has veterans, over 1.7 million, we hope to bring a magnet here so these young men and women can have a place to come. Not only now, but for the foreseeable future here for their life.
Got to go, but Aaron, what's your degree going to be in?
I'm working on a Bachelor in History. I'll be finished with that.
Bachelor in History. We appreciate your service.
Thank you so much.
He intends to go on. He intends to go on in school.
Good for you.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Retired Lieutenant General Martin Steele and Aaron Gonzales. Good luck with your career. All right, coming up next after the break, how Moffitt Cancer Center is serving the underserved.